The wind spun down, curling its way through soaring skyscrapers. Its intensity pulled flecks of concrete and mortar off the buildings it danced between. It bore the dust down, swirling it around Alexander. His goggles protected his eyes and a scarf his mouth from the debris. A few jagged pieces had struck his unprotected brows, drawing blood. The cuts immediately crusted over with the ever-present grime floating in the air. It won't matter in an hour or so, he thought. I just hope I'm not too late. He glanced up, the buildings crumbling faster. Lines of soot were flying off them visibly now. The remains of megastructures towered above him, disappearing into the rolling clouds above. The cracked streets beneath his feet felt softer than they should. Lines of dried, cracked earth lay barren. He checked his watch. 11:50 p.m. 10 minutes left. It's going to be close, he whispered to himself. We should have never messed with it. Subconsciously, he pulled the strap wrapped around his shoulders. The glowing crystal container lashed to his back was his only source of illumination. A small bastion of light in the torrent of this crumbling world. As the ash coming off the buildings grew greater, the bubble of light around him shrunk. He could barely see. It didn't matter. He knew the way. He had done this before. Puffs of filth started to form around his feet as he broke into a jog. Time was running out. He checked his watch again and started to run. The structures behind him began to disintegrate. Swept up by the raging wind, tornadoes of black dust began to form, sweeping away all before them. How many times now? 100? 2? Too many. The craft came into sight, sleek and metallic. It was the only thing not fading into nothingness. He dashed in. 2 minutes now. He navigated the corridor, sprinting through the ship. Doors and corners passed by in a flash. Finally, he reached the center of the vessel. A glowing pedestal sat in the middle of the room. Panels and instruments lined the walls. He simply ignored them. He undid his pack and he moved towards the shining column. Looking at his watch again, he had 1 minute. He hoisted the crystal up onto the pedestal, slightly off-center. The glowing of both grew in intensity. Leaving one hand on it, he brought his wrist up to his face. 30 seconds. It was only luck that had brought him another chance the first time. Now he knew exactly what to do. To buy more time. 10 seconds. His hand tensed. 5 seconds. 4. Soot was filtering into the ship. The wind was swirling it around him. 3. 2. He could feel his feet starting to crumble. 1. He pushed the container into place. Light blinded everything. A blink of an eye later, the air was clear. The smell of ash was gone. Birds chirping could be heard outside the ship.
Can you believe this, Alex?
A woman called from behind. Yes, Judy. I can. You didn't bother pulling down the scarf that was no longer there.
Sure you can.
She laughed dismissively before her footsteps slowly vanished, going back to exploring the recent discovery. He checked his watch. The 1st of January, year 2274. Back again, he whispered. He had bought them another 365 days, and more time for him to figure out how to break this cycle. Happy New Year, he muttered, as he pulled the crystal out again and set back to work.